So you are famously a hardcore Trek fan.
Yes.
So what is your favourite Star Trek story and why?
Oh, story. Favorite Star Trek story. Yeah, okay. It's do you know, I look up the name of the episode because I get asked this a lot and I never remember it. It's the one where they find Riker on a space station where he's been stuck for 8 years. To just sum up the story, the Enterprise goes to one of Will Riker's old postings, which is a abandoned space station where he did a evacuation emergency teleport out. But there was a problem with the teleportation system, and what it did was it created two Rikers, one who ended up being saved, but then a Riker who was stuck on this old space station where he's been stuck for 8 years alone. And what they do with this story, which I think is probably the best single kind of description of how Star Trek is perfect for me, is Tom Riker comes on, and it's not just about Will. It's about his dad, his family. It's about Deanna. It's about, they offer both sides of the opinions. They offer how Will Riker feels about having, his love of his life, his ex-fiancée, Deanna Troi, be presented with a man who never stopped loving her, unlike Will, who chose the Federation over her, about Will's feelings of inadequacy against Tom Riker suddenly being there, Tom feeling like his life has been taken away from him, and what that means for him, and being reborn and having another, and it presented all the sides from that situation, that problem, with no judgment, and offered no solution other than empathy. Empathy for all characters involved and options for all characters involved. It didn't judge, it didn't say what was right, it didn't say what was wrong. It presented a moral problem and then let you, the audience, decide where you fell and then said, wherever you fell is fine. That's Star Trek.
Nicely detailed there.
Yeah, sorry.
What are you doing in my space station?
I'm giving you a chance to get back in on the action on a galactic scale.
What a cute idea.
With that amount of hardcore Trekness on display, as a fan, what is it like for you walking onto the set of Star Trek for the first
Dream,
time?
man. Like, there's two funny things. Is like, I got there before everybody else, and I was wandering around. I came in on the days I wasn't on, and they were deconstructing the Discovery set, and I was like standing on the Discovery bridge and that stuff. And then when we got to stand on my bridge of my ship, and I'm in space, and I'm on Star Trek, and I'm looking out. Actually, there's a brilliant moment that happened. It was Sam Richardson and I, because he's also a Trekkie, and we were sat on the bridge of our spaceship, and there's two pilot seats, and they're divided by a thing. It's very very Nostromo and Alien. It's very, there's a thingy and then there's two pilot seats, and we're sitting there and we're in a break and they're setting up and we're just looking out, and there's, the blacks with the lights on it, and it's meant to be space and screens and the Star Trek panels, and I'm just sitting here pressing buttons going beep 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 1.7.2 engage, and then I look over and I see Sam, and he's doing the exact same thing as me, and we just look at each other and go, we're in Star Trek. And it was being on a spaceship. It was being on a starship in space, in Star Trek. It doesn't, how do you top that? People, it's like a Make-A-Wish gift was given to me. It's like, if you could ask for one thing, that's the thing it would be, and I got it. And it's just, I'm still pinching.
The only way this works is if I know exactly what I'm dealing with.
We're facing a threat unlike anything Starfleet's ever seen.
Billions of lives are at stake. Gather your people. We're gonna need every one of them.
Quite an iconic moment for you to be not only on the set of your own bridge, but to have the Discovery set being demolished around you.
It's kind of sad, man. It's always sad, especially, but it was kind of a 50-50 on that one, because, you're watching these sets be taken apart and it's sad, but then you're also like, yeah, but it's now in my film. Like, it's still the bridge, they just painted it red, and suddenly, it's... And it was kind of like, I know that's the business, isn't it? It all gets recycled over and over again, and the idea that, there were bits of that set that would carry on in this set, and maybe there was bits of the... I don't know if Terry Matalas, when he brought the Enterprise D out of retirement for the end of Picard, I don't know if that was the original bridge or they reconstructed the bridge. Do you know?
I think there was elements of it.
Exactly, elements of it.
It's not necessarily the entire...
Yeah, they probably made it a bit more camera friendly than the old one used to be, or a bit more HD friendly, I should imagine.
Probably right.
Yeah, so the same kind of thing. Like, to imagine, like, we've got bits of, like, that Star Trek history on our ship as well. It just, for someone like me, it ties you all in and makes you feel really kind of warm and fuzzy.
31 is a Black Ops division. Spy work.
It's just a place for people to bend the rules.
Starfleet is here to make sure no one commits murder.
Whatever you believed your mission was, is worse than you thought.
How do we stop it?
We work together.
Then don't get dead. I'll try my hardest.
With that in mind, be honest, what did you take from set?
What did I take from set? Fair bit. I took my goggles, my mask. I took the heart of my spinning chess piece. I took my antenna. And I say took, I was given. And I did go up to props and I said, listen, man, I know I don't have one in the show, but can I have a phaser? And they went, no, absolutely not. And then he had like 3 drinks. And he went off and went, give me a minute, I've got something for you. And he wanders off and I'm like, what's he gonna bring me? And I'm like, I feel like I'm taking advantage. He's had 3 drinks. And then he comes back with a mold, one of the molds for the phasers, which he was allowed to give away. And so I've got a mold for a phaser, which means, I don't know if you realize this, I can make phasers.
Is that going to be your next line of business? Just
I'm just gonna start doing props. I'm all about it.
making them and signing them. I love the fact that you just said I had the antenna, I had the eyepiece. Did you just walk out wearing the entire outfit?
Well, not all of it, but kind of what happens is they go, oh, you know, bits broke, didn't they? Let's just say that broke. There you go, kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, no one will know. And there's like, because there's so many spare parts that go on this suit, and most of them ended the show broken. I mean, that suit at the end, when we got to the end of that thing, it was being held together with spit and rust and like just, I mean, tape. I mean, every day it was get in the suit, tape up the bits, and then more bits would fall off, and it, like, there was plenty. I imagine that if you walk around Toronto, there are still bits of that suit hanging around the street corners.
You ready? Let's get messy.
You don't answer her questions directly, she will punch you in your face.
What?
You said that she was gonna be doing the face
I
punching!
lied.
Anything can happen in Star Trek, as you know.
Yep.
So what would you most like to see happen with your character, with no spoilers?
With no spoilers.
Well, because I can't. If this film goes out before you.
I know, right? No spoilers. What I would like to see is a bit more explanation of the suit. I mean, I've always had, Craig Sweeney and I wrote a backstory for Zeph that he was paraplegic and that the suit was his wheelchair and things like that. And I would love to see how the suit keeps him alive, how it heals his injuries, how it heals his wounds. I would love to see this gang, this crew, come back together, because I really don't know if you can find a better natural chemistry than this group. And the idea that we could do more movies together, I find that stunning. I find that whole idea of that. And like I said yesterday at the premiere, like for me, this show, whilst being, you know, the end cap of the Philippa Georgiou storyline, could also be the origination of a Rachel Garrett storyline and how she becomes the missing captain of the Enterprise that was the only one that's never had their own series. And I think for me as a fan, I would love to see Zeph be part of that. I'd love to see an outlaw become a part of the Federation.
Brilliant. Well, here's hoping.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, pal.
You have no idea what you've started.
This is gonna be bad.
5, 4, 3,
Hold your course.
2, 1.
We survive together.